everybody, and welcome to Hex Token Show. Your host, Suitman, in the house. And man, we're going to have a fun time with this episode, interviewing one of the four founders. That is one of the four founders of a WinWin. And of course, their sacrifice has just opened, and it's kicked off pretty strong. And so we're going to check all that out as well. So we're going to check out the project, check out the hear from the team, one of the four team founders, and of course, get into the sacrifice as well. And of course, we're always looking out for merit in some of these Pulsechain projects. So hopefully this gives you a bit more insight into this project, which may end up being one of the better projects on the Pulsechain that is native. And of course, we look forward to that. So let's bring on one of the founders, and welcome to the chat, everybody. Of course, get in there and say hello. And if you want to save your questions, maybe for a bit later in the live stream, and get your questions in as well. We're going to run for about 45 minutes on this one. So stay tuned. Let's meet one of the founders. And wow, here we are. So welcome.
Thank you, Superman. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on.
It's great to have you. And you had a nice shout out from our first live stream from the Magic Carpet Ride team earlier today. So I had to get you on, that's for sure.
Awesome. Big fan of their work.
Yeah, Magic Carpet Ride, pretty epic there, Ty and everybody. We've got a few people in the chat. We've got Hex Token. Good to see Hex Token in the house. And Blobfish King as well. Good to see you, Hex Fetty. Good to see you. Lies Beneath, Hex, EHEX, PLS, and PLS for the win. 100% on that one. There, Lies. Always good to see you. We've got obviously WinWin is in the chat there. Now, what you might find is we've got emojis. So I've added in the WinWin emoji there. So if you're a Hex Token channel member, you'll be able to use that during the live stream. Plus, of course, if you hit Discord, I've added the WinWin emoji to our Discord. So it's pretty cool as well. What else? We got J-Bags. Don't forget to hit us up in Telegram, says J-Bags. Magic Cup Ride in the house there. Yo, good to see you, Magic Cup Ride. Yeah, LFG WinWin. So got some pretty nice support there from Magic Cup Ride. Awesome. Who else is in there? 007 M Crypto. Good to see you. Here we go. Absolutely. Smash the like button. 100%. Katie says, let's go, Superman. We're going to have a lot of fun with this for sure. Coffee time with Superman C6 on there. Yeah, big welcome to everybody from the UK, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and England. They're just waking up now, so big welcome to you and good morning. J-Bags in house on fire. Hey, I love it. Really nicely lit up chat there, so keep up the good stuff there. Maybe hold off some of the questions till later, but feel free to post them in if you can't resist. We're just how things roll. Crypto Beats up, guys. Nice. Get that MCR bonus for WinWin. We'll have to talk about that. And of course, these emojis on fire, says J-Bag. Yeah, they certainly are. Yeah, you got some in the house there. Let's go. Win, says Christian. And Passon as well. Hello. New to WinWin. Don't know anything about this project, which is a pretty good lead-in to this interview. So let's get going. And Blobfish King, of course, posting some of those beautiful little WinWin emojis in the chat there. Look pretty good on the black background. Woo!
Awesome.
All right, let's get into it. So here we are on the website, winwin.finance. I guess probably my first question up is a little bit about your team and about whether you guys are doxed or not and all that sort of stuff. So I'll let you take over from here.
Yep. So we are not doxed. It was a very conscious decision that we made. We talked about it for a long time. What we are building is truly innovative. It's disruptive technology. And we decided that the safest option was to remain undoxed. If you talk to the people in the community, you'll get a sense of who we are and what we do. We have good reputations. So what I can tell you is J-Bags has been in crypto for a long time, done very well, and knows a lot about finance in general. Captain Planet is one of my other co-founders. He's just got a really good business head on his shoulders, sort of all-round smart guy. We've got Merch. He's our maths whiz, mathematician. He's largely responsible for the tokenomics. I mean, it was a team effort, but he was really spearheading the number side of things. And then I'm from an advertising and marketing background, hence me being here on the live stream with you today.
That sounds like a pretty perfectly combined team there to execute something like this.
Yeah, it was. So we ended up in a Telegram group late last year, and I remember sitting in the car when J-Bags eventually said, boys, I think we have enough brain power in this group to do our own thing and build on Pulsechain. And we all fell silent and for about 15 seconds. And then he said, guys, you there? And we're like, yeah, we're here. It's just, it's going to be a lot of work. And it has been. it's been a hell of a lot of work. We're up till midnight, basically every night working on this. My wife is always like, oh my God, he's talking to the boys again. But
Yeah.
what we've built thus far and what we're building, we're really proud of. And so it's been a labor of love, but it's a whole lot of fun.
All right. So you've got a team of 4, and you're all Hexicans, eh?
Yep.
Yep. And you're based in Australia, is that right? The team's based in Australia.
Yep.
And you guys have some associations with Magic Upright team.
Yep. They've become our friends in the community.
Yeah.
Looking forward.
Sorry, what was that?
Looking forward to meeting them at the next Hex meetup in Australia.
Right.
If they're going, because I know we are.
Right. It sounds like your team has been in MCR community since the beginning. These boys keep us up all the time, says Magic Cup, right? So pretty fun on that. Pulse Performer in the house. Hello, Pulse Performer. Good to see you. So that's pretty cool. So Hexicans in Australia, a team of 4 met on Telegram. No MCR. That sounds pretty good to me. Now you guys are not doxed for which reason? Just because of the type of product you're laying out, or?
Yeah, it's disruptive technology. Some people might see it as gambling in a sense, and we can get into that. We see it as anti-gambling. It's the opposite of gambling because you can never risk or eat into your principal. Whereas if you go and buy a lottery ticket, you don't win, or you lose your money. With us, it's the opposite. If you don't win, you hold on to your ticket and it's still valid, forever. But yeah, so from us, it's just a safer, smarter move to remain undoxed, and we might in the future. But for now, that's and we've got friends who are lawyers, and that was just the general, just easier and smarter to do it this way. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, cool. Well, there's a lot of projects that are out there that seem to be pretty good. That teams are not doxed, and you're in the community, so it's pretty good. Let's take a look at the product now, I guess, and let's check out WinWin. So this is WinWin .finance. I'm going to post the link in the chat here as well, but of course you can find it in our Discord link, which is below. I'll just show you that quickly. So that is the website win.finance, and of course they're launching this product. We're going to find out all about it, and of course they got the Sacrifice just launched as well in the last 24 hours. Within the last 24 hours, as I understand it. Now, if you want to find on Discord, of course, you can find the link to Discord in the chat there, and of course just go down to new token links. And of course, you will find it under new tokens there under WinWin Finance. And I don't know, have you guys been evaluated by Pulse Hotlist on there?
Pulse Hotlist. We are on Hex Pulse Info. I was chatting. There's so many of these ranking sites. Yep. Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay. So we're 67 score, which is fairly good, which is pretty cool. So you can find extra information on Pulse Hotlist if you want to. No prototype beta code audit yet, so we're going to talk all about that anyway. So cool. Let's get into it though. Okay, so that's where you can find the site. So DeFi savings account, compounding yield, big crypto prizes. Tell me all about it.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's a little bit complicated, but we love it. So yes, it's a DeFi savings account. Yes, there's compounding yield, and yes, there are big crypto prizes. The analogy that I used before of it's like having a lottery ticket that never expires, that you can sell at face value at any time. And if you don't win, then you don't lose your principal ever.
Right.
There's sort of 2 sides to WinWin. You've got the native token Win, and then you've got other popular Pulsechain assets. For example, Loan, USDL, Hex, and Mint. They're sort of a good 4 to start with and start talking about. So people in the community will know that when you stake those assets in their native staking mechanisms, they all generate their own kind of yield, and that they're all going to have healthy yield, which is awesome. And those assets are loved by the community. So what WinWin does, it allows you to bring in those assets into our protocol. They go through our protocol into their native staking mechanism where the yield is generated, and then our protocol captures the yield, sends roughly 2/3 off to prize draws. The remaining 1/3 is claimable to the user. So the more people who use the protocol, the bigger the prizes. The bigger the prizes, the more people who want to use the protocol. So it's a positive feedback loop. And then when you stake Win, that actually gives you exposure to all of the prize draws. and it also gives you daily yield in all of the assets, including more of itself, and that's auto compounding. So everything has been structured to make it fun, fair, and rewarding. And there's obviously big incentives to being a win staker because you get daily yield in all of the assets and all of the prizes.
Okay,
or exposure to all of the prizes.
Okay, so basically, if I am basically by staking my native tokens, there's other tokens that are the non-win tokens. I am for giving 2/3 of the yield, but with the upside chance of potentially earning big prizes, much bigger than what I might have yielded. So there'll be winners and losers. Yeah.
Yes. So personally, like if I've got 10 grand worth of loan token, I'm not going to stake it all through WinWin. I'll stake maybe half natively and the other half in WinWin, or maybe 2/3 natively and the remaining third in WinWin. It's kind of up to the individual as to see as
That
what's the best.
sense. That kind of makes sense. Yeah. So you're foregoing a bit of the yield and part of your portfolio. You can go and stake on liquid loans or whatever else, Mintra or whatever. But then, of course, you can take a third maybe of your bags and put them into WinWin for the chance of winning big potentially.
Exactly. And as we all know, the most gains in crypto come from token price appreciation. Oh, your audio cut out for a sec there, I think.
I did it?
Oh, maybe it's just not synced. I was looking at your... It doesn't matter.
Hello, testing 1, 2, 3.
The biggest gains in crypto come from token price appreciation rather than yield. So because you hold on to your tokens, they're still yours. So if they go up wildly in value, well, that's fantastic. And the yield that you would have got on them, yes, you're sacrificing a little bit of that yield, or more than a little bit, 2/3 is more than a little bit, for the chance to win prizes, but at least you still get some yield. So yeah, we're pretty proud of what we've built. We think that it's unique. The only thing that's even close to similar in DeFi is called Pool Together. It's on Ethereum. It allows you to stake USDC only, whereas we allow you to stake multiple popular Pulsechain assets.
Sure.
And with Pool Together, you don't earn any guaranteed yield, whereas you do with our protocol.
You got your base yield, 1/3 of the staking yield. Yeah.
Exactly.
Plus you got the win staking as well. So you're earning. Where does the yield come from? The win staking.
The yield off of win staking. So the same place. It's all the native.
So it comes from that 2/3 of yield that's scraped off the normal staking.
Yes. Yep. And also there's more. You also yield more win token, which comes from a fixed reserve supply, and thanks to token burning, that becomes deflationary over time.
Right. That's cool. Okay. So the sacrifice total is going to be $1 million worth. Is that right?
Yep.
That's the maximum cap. And so
Ty is asking us to play the explainer video.
On the YouTube? Okay. I have to link that in. So just let me link that in.
Okay.
Just 1 moment.
God, he's good.
Actually, I think that's on your website, isn't it? So
it is on the About page.
About page. I'll just have to cue that in just a moment.
Cool.
All right.
WinWin is a crypto-powered savings and prize platform currently in development for Pulsechain. WinWin will allow users to earn yield and win prizes in multiple popular Pulsechain assets. WinWin will be made up of several separate smart contracts, with the native token WIN the first to be deployed. WIN stakers receive compounding daily yield in the form of more WIN token. Instead of coming from inflation, this yield is distributed from a fixed reserve supply that decreases over time. This benefits early adopters and also ensures stakers always receive yield. As separate smart contracts are added to the ecosystem, WIN stakers will earn extra daily yield in the new token staking reward. For example, if loan was added, WIN stakers would earn yield in USDL. plus have the chance to win monthly, quarterly, and yearly prizes in USDL. If Mint was added, Win stakers would earn extra yield, plus have the chance to win prizes in Pulse, and so on. As more smart contracts are added to WinWin, things just keep getting better and better for Win stakers. But what's in it for holders of other assets? By staking their tokens through WinWin, they get the chance to regularly earn yield and win prizes, and these prizes could get really big. With WinWin, there is no risk of ever losing your crypto. Even if a user early ends stakes by removing their tokens within 30 days, their only penalty would be missing out on yield and any prizes, but they'd never lose their principal. Half of this penalty is distributed to the Win stakers, rewarding them for delaying gratification, and the rest is sent to an address with the ability to buy and burn tokens. This applies buying pressure to Win, while also making it deflationary. WinWin has been designed to be fair, fun, and rewarding, with some of the best tokenomics on Pulsechain, and it will be great for onboarding new users. Join the Telegram group to be the first to hear all the latest developments.
All right, so that was that one. We'll just kick that out for the moment. So that was a cool little explainer video.
Thank you.
And let me just add in the screen back. All right, cool. Let's go back to the main page here. So pretty much if you are going to, how much is the total supply from the sacrifice if that equates?
We can't link the sacrifice to the supply.
Okay. So that's unknown then. And what about you're allocating a certain amount of that to the Win reward pool for those who are staking Win?
How do I answer that question? So of the total supply, there is some reserved for, there's obviously a chunk owned by Win holders. Then there's some reserved for marketing, some reserved for bug bounties, some reserved for the fixed set supply of Win token, which, as I said, it decreases over time from that smart contract. In the way that it's actually been coded, Merch has done an incredible job. It's like instead of Bitcoin's halving, it's a 7th thing. So you've got a much, much smoother distribution curve. But yeah, basically, the Win rewards will shrink over time from that pool, and because of the token burning, Win is deflationary.
Okay. Now, JBags, who's in your team here, says the traffic increases, TVL goes up, total value locked, and the prizes grow exponentially. We have some moon math graphics in our Telegram on that, so you can check that out. What else is in there? Hey, good to see you, Briz. Hey, I like winning. Brizology likes winning, so that's pretty good. All right, cool. So let's just jump back to the website here. I'll just go a few things here. So you got monthly, quarterly prizes. Stake your Pulsechain assets to in WinWin, earn playable yield every day. You're in the draw. You got the native token, which is Win a token there. Stakers receive daily yield and popular Pulsechain assets, plus the chance to win prizes in these same assets, plus more auto compounding Win token, which is pretty nice little extra feature there. No admin keys, no non-custodial. With WinWin, you always retain custody of your crypto. You never risk losing it, so that's a big positive. And of course, you're going to get the big part of it is the price yield, like, as you say. Said you earn daily yield while enjoying the fair chance of winning big crypto prizes. How big can the prizes get on a monthly, quarterly basis, do you think?
They can get pretty damn big.
Yeah.
If you give me 2 seconds, I'll find some example that we've done for Mintra that we discussed with Magic Carpet Ride.
Right.
The more people who use it, the bigger the prizes. But yeah, they look really good when you with the modeling that we've done.
So you got some graphics in here. Is it some of the graphics?
No, I don't think the Mintra one is there.
In there, okay. Got an example here of all the big dollars in the prize pool there. The next draw, next draw, next draw.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'll send you this on Twitter. Give me 2 secs.
That may not work because I'm working on a different computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't worry about that. But there we go.
I'll just read it out then. Okay. All right. So with Mint token, for example, And we got all these numbers from testnet because that was the only place that there were any
Sure.
numbers. So let's assume that Pulse has a price of 1 cent, and Mint has a price of 4.8 cents. Mint has a supply of 4.76 billion and 6% native average APR, which is quite low, right? Now I'm hoping that Mint is going to have a higher than 6% APR, but that's the number that we've got to work with.
Sure.
And imagine there's 361 Mintra staked in WinWin. So if you think of the total supply of 4.76 billion Mintra and only 361 Mintra staked through our protocol, it's not like we're not being ridiculous with these numbers. So based on that scenario above, the Mintra pool would earn, the total APR would be 106 million Pulse, which works out to $1,056,954 in prizes for the year, which would make the annual prize $215,000. The quarterly prizes would be $52,000, and the monthly prizes would be $17,000.
Yeah, I think you're going to get a lot of people punting for that.
Yeah.
So that's conservative, and so okay. So the prices could get actually pretty high, couldn't they?
Absolutely,
if the prices rise really high, the adoption high, these prices could get pretty insane numbers.
Exactly, because I don't think that Mint is going to have a price of 4.8 cents. I like to think that Mint's going to do a lot better than that. And also I don't think that Pulse is going to have a price of 1 cent for very long. I think it'll blast through that. So the prices can get really big.
So the prices are based not on staking non-Win tokens, they're based on the Win token staking, correct?
The prices are based on the native yield-bearing mechanisms for that token. So for loan,
token, so each token has their own winnings, as it were.
Yeah. So, and we see this as supporting the ecosystem. So we love the fact that instead of trying to devise, other ways to get yield from these tokens, we're just using their native mechanisms. Because we love Mintra, we love liquid loans, we love internet money, we love Power City. We looked at doing the Watt token, and we're really hoping that we will be able to bring the Watt token in, but maybe we can't, so that's okay. What else? I said liquid loans. Hedron and Icosa would be something we'd love to potentially bring in the future. Because of the way that's structured, we might have to skip the monthly prices, but I think that's okay. I think people would understand, we have to abide by the rules of those smart contracts.
Okay, that sounds interesting. No, I like I say, I think, the idea of a savings account, the idea of these rewards, that is a market use case that separates yourself out, as far as I can tell, from just about every other project I've looked at so far. And I could see the numbers getting pretty big, actually, based on people with a more risk orientated approach to their investing, and meaning that they forego the full yield for a bit of upside, like you say, a bit of a diversification. Just putting a little bit of your portfolio in this platform could end up being worth it, and of course they're still getting their base yield, right?
Exactly.
So it seems pretty good to me. The other thing, of course, is there's two perspectives here. There's one, if I'm a sacrificer, I'm going to be able to stake my WinWin and put in my non-other tokens and get my base yield and benefit from the potential prizes and a potential, obviously, deflation in the Win token and airdrops and things, the yield from WinWin tokens as well. If I'm not in the sacrifice, how do I benefit? Just to separate that out just clearly.
So let's say you own, let's use the Mintra example again. If you're a Mintra holder, you could bring some of your Mintra into our protocol, stake it, goes through our protocol into the native Mintra staking function where Pulse is yielded. Our protocol would capture the Pulse, send 2/3 of it off to prize pools, and the remaining 1/3 is claimable to you.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you get 1/3 base, but you also get without the Win token, do you get a chance of winning a prize? Have I missed that part?
No, that's absolutely right. Yes, you do get a chance. So if you
in that pool, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Whereas a Win staker gets access to all of the pools.
All of the pools. Is there a separate Win pool?
You can't. This is a funny sentence. You can't win in Win. You can't win in WinWin.
Okay, cool. I just want to clarify that. Okay.
Yeah, we don't want the sell pressure on the native token.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's why we decided that you can't actually win more WIN token.
So you got 2/3 of the yield from these non-WIN tokens staking that goes to the reward pool.
Mhm.
Is that split up 50-50 to the WIN stakers and 50% to the non-WIN tokens? Is that how it works?
No, we thought that would be too heavily stacked in the favor of WIN stakers.
Sure.
Now we love WIN stakers, obviously.
Yeah.
So if you click on the prizes tab of the docs.winwin.finance,
Yeah. Okay. Let me, it's this one here.
actually, sorry, the yield tab,
Yield tab. Yeah.
and scroll down to yield from other assets. So we'll go to the mint example. So you've brought some mint into WinWin. It's been staked in the native Mintra staking function. Of that yielded pulse, 60% goes to the prize draws for asset stakers like you, who've brought mint in. 30% goes to asset stakers like you, who've brought mint in.
Yield. Yep.
6% goes to WIN stakers for their prize draws. 3% goes to WIN stakers for their base yield. And then 1% goes to an address with no expectations of how it may be used, but could hypothetically swap the yielded asset for WIN and then burn it, aka buy and burn.
I think you guys have thought about this pretty well. Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
When mint is staked via WinWin, WIN stakers earn bonus PLS as base yield and get the chance to win prizes. That's a good allocation, I think. All right, cool. So that's I think we've covered the products, haven't we? That's pretty much it. Is there anything else you want to add around the products there?
Just that we hope to grow the ecosystem over time. So let's say we launch with the native token WIN, Hex, Mint, Loan, and USDL. As I mentioned before, we'd love to be adding more yield-bearing tokens in the future, like Hedron, Icosa, Internet Money Wallet Dividend, What Token if possible, all the good ones.
Okay, cool. I just realized I didn't have this up on screen. So basically 60% of the prize going to the stakers, 30% base yield to the asset stakers, 6% win to the stakers of the prize draws, 3% to the WIN stakers as base yield. So this is what people get out of the yield based on people, if, for example, if they were staking mint, is staked via the WinWin platform. So hopefully that allocates it. And I think that's a pretty good allocation, and 1% to the address that you have no expectations of that may hypothetically swap the yield based on the win there. So I thought I had the screen up, but I didn't actually have it up at the time. So that is pretty much that. So I think that's a really good distribution. And what was the last comment you made before I interrupted?
Can't remember.
Yeah. All right. I think we've covered that off pretty well, though. So this is the main page if you want to check it out. There's obviously the knowledge base, which we're on here. This gives you everything, all the extra details if you want to read through that. But basically, I think we've done a pretty good coverage of the products there. Now, audits. So we've talked about your team. We've talked about your product. What about the audits here? So you got there before deployment, before Pulsechain. Yep.
That's absolutely true. It will be fully audited. Right now, there's no visible code, so you can't audit, code that hasn't been released to anyone yet.
So the code's going to follow, but obviously with the sacrifice. Once you get sacrifice money, with no expectations. Like what I did there. Yeah.
Our devs will do the code, and then once they are happy that it's perfect, they will send it to another team inside the same company. Who will do their own audit on it. From there, we will send it to Pulse Police and give the community the chance to review it with a fine-tooth comb, as we know this community loves to do. There might be a bug bounty at that time. And then from there, once we're sure that it's been quadruple checked and perfect and we all love it, it'll go off to a professional third-party auditing company, and it should, I can't say why it wouldn't sail through that audit process once so many people have reviewed it.
So let me just clarify that. So the coders in-house, is that one of your 4 members of your team, or is that you're outsourcing that?
No. I wish we had in-house coders, but we do not.
So you got a mathematician, but you're outsourcing the code.
Correct.
And then you're going to get it audited. Okay, cool. Is that and so the audit and the code team are within the same firm, but they just swap the different teams there?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then deployment, obviously, when Pulsechain launches, are you going to be straight away or afterwards? What do you think your timing? We don't know the timing of Pulsechain, but
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
What's your time frame in terms of after the sacrifice, getting it to audit phase? Basically, you tested it on Pulsechain and stuff like that. What's your sort of time frame?
From the commencement of coding through to the code being sent to another team within the same building for audit, we've been told 4 months.
4 months, that sounds about right. Yep, cool. All right. I think that's about it from here. I think we talked about the yield and the product, talked about the audits and development and deployment. So I think that looks pretty good. And of course, the prizes, man, they could end up being pretty juicy. Yeah, looking pretty good. 30%, 3% goes to the monthly prize, 30% to the quarterly, and 34% to the yearly prize. This could end up getting some pretty famous numbers out of this, let me say the least.
Yeah. Just if you go back to that just for 1 sec, the prizes section, scroll up a little tiny bit. So there's only one first prize winner per draw, but roughly 1 in 3 users will win a prize every draw.
Right.
Now tell me a lottery that you've ever gone in.
I don't know.
Where you don't lose your principal if you don't win, and you had a roughly 1 in 3 chance of winning a prize.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty proud of that.
So you're foregoing your 2/3 of your yield, but with a chance of a huge upside, and you're potentially 1 in 3 going to win a prize anyway and get part of that yield back. And then of course you got the win token there in there as well, which you could end up doing pretty well. Also, just based around the general TVL of this platform. Is that fair?
Yep.
With and including deflation on it. So
very good summary. Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right, so that is that. So we looked at the team, we looked at the products and development audits and timeline. We've looked at obviously the prizes, which is really a big key separator of this project compared to other projects. Obviously, there's quite a few staking projects, but this one here is kind of a reallocation into that with a chance of winning big, and it could be really big. I think you guys could end up getting talked about a lot if this gets into any numbers that we might think that it might get to. So you guys are on Twitter at the moment. You got 2,000 followers, so it's a good base to grow from. And of course, you guys you have building associations with Magic Carpet Ride, the IC as well, which is pretty cool.
So we got Twitter and Telegram. There are 2 main channels.
Okay.
And then one thing I forgot to mention was Text and Token would be another one we would love to bring into our protocol.
Oh, that's interesting. Why Text and Token?
We love it. We think it's just really cool. We love the fact that it's true DeFi. I love the yield scraping. Yeah, it's a great project.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, well, I've had them on the show talking about it. I just wondered why that one is a little different from the rest of them.
Can I win a goldfish? Lol.
Yeah.
No, you can only win the yielded assets from the token that you bring, or the tokens that are brought in to WinWin.
Yeah.
So,
Hex Down Under, we're trying to hold off on the questions till a bit later.
Oh, sorry.
That was pretty funny though. Hex Down Under. All right, sweet. Let's jump over to. So anyway, I posted that link to the Twitter if you want to follow them. And it definitely stands out from a lot of the projects out there. That's for sure. Now, obviously, the sacrifice is open in the last 24 hours. How long has it been? Maybe half a day or something?
It's been 24 and 6, so 30 hours.
Okay, 30 hours. Oh, there we are. Matt was out just slightly there. I have to retweet that. And so forth. I think you might have had an announcement here on Twitter, actually. Probably a bit earlier. So
what's the SAC number up to? My computer's saying 174.
Yeah, so you can find the sacrifice is now open, everybody. You can find it on hexpost.info as the latest sacrifice there. And you can also obviously find it on the website under sacrifice. You click that. You'll also find it. Social medias are there. And of course, here it is at the moment. Let's refresh. It was at 173.8. So see how it's going. So in 30 hours, you're up to $174,351, which is actually doing pretty well.
Yes. In this market, I think that's really good.
So that's $5,800 an hour. So they're tracking pretty nicely there. And of course, the maximum is $1 million, right?
Yep, cap sack of $1 million. We've kind of gamified the Pulsechain launch. So It's 2,000 points per dollar pre-Pulsechain launch, and that rate drops down to 1,000 points per dollar post-Pulsechain launch, which really incentivizes people to sack before Pulsechain launches.
Okay, so can you say it one more time, just so people can?
And you can scroll down on this page, and we'll see it there too.
Again.
So it's 2,000 points per dollar pre-Pulsechain launch, which drops down to 1,000 points per dollar post-Pulsechain launch.
Yeah, 2,000 points per dollar. Okay, cool. And points, does that reflect equivalent to a token? No expectations.
Who knows?
That's the standard. Normally the standard there, but okay, 2,000 points per dollar. Pulsechain launches, rate drops to 1,000 points per dollar. Sacrifice closes once 1 million received. Okay, so encouraging to get that raised before. Have you had on your devs and your audit, you've had a quote for fixed price contract? I don't know, no expectations. I hope so. I'm just
okay, I kind of missed the question.
That's right. Sacrifice by chain, you got $142,000 on the ETH chain and $32,000 on the BNB, or is it BNB? Yeah, BNB chain.
Yep.
You may wish to sacrifice to make this political statement. Gambling is often highly exploitative, preying on vulnerable members of society. I am making a sacrifice to help raise awareness of how gambling harms individuals, families, and communities all around the world. Accepted tokens on the Ethereum proof of stake chain, a DAI, ETH, Hex, Hedron, LUSD. That's pretty cool from Liquidity. That's very cool. Like that. Maxi, True USD, USDC, and USD Tether, and Wrap a Bitcoin. Binance Smart Chain, BNB, BUSD, USDC, USD Tether there. And Pulsechain, Hex, Hedron, Loan, Maxi, Mint, PLS, PLSX, USDL, Wait, What token there. So is this just hypothetical, or do you feel it's just assuming you don't meet the $1 million by the time Pulsechain launches? Is kind of the logic there?
Correct. Yep. You can't sack something that doesn't exist. So if we haven't reached our cap by the time that Pulsechain launches,
then Now, you've chosen Hex. Why? This is the one thing I have about sacrifices: people choosing Hex.
Yes.
Is there any particular reason for that, or?
Yeah. So we want everyone to sack Hex, so it can be dumped into oblivion. No, I'm joking. So with the prize pools, when they're set up, we could have sponsor wallets to mean that there's a big incentive to jump in and start using the protocol from the beginning. So, if there's $0 in the prize pool, then what's the incentive to join? So with these tokens, it would seem logical, no expectations, that they could be used for prize pools.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you've got quite a few stables in here, which is cool, and then you've got only ones here. So I had the only one I've had issue with a lot of sacrifices is the Hex, unless they have a good reason for it. That's probably the only point I would have to say on it. Now, obviously, the disclaimer here: this is not an investment of any kind. Sacrifice points are simply hypothetical points that may be used for record keeping. Sacrifice points have zero monetary value. You must have no expectations of profit derived from the work of others. You must have no expectation of anything for the avoidance of doubt. You're not entitled to any voting, equity, participation, or any other rights whatsoever. Now, you guys are based in Australia, not in the United States, so the Howey test is for the US citizens under the SEC. How does this apply to you guys in any way?
What I've been told is that international companies, we're obviously not a company, and it's just going to be a immutable smart contract on the blockchain, but international companies that are giving their service to US citizens have to abide by those laws. Otherwise, then they can be prosecuted under US law. Seems ridiculous to me, but as I said, we're not a company. It's a piece of software on the blockchain like Hex. It's unchangeable, immutable, no admin keys. But we'll still use sensible legal language, because why wouldn't you?
Yep, good answer. All right, let's scroll down the bottom here. Now, obviously, people can sacrifice to this wallet address. And of course, I think you probably get that on Twitter, right? So as a confirmation on there somewhere.
Correct.
Here it is here. Our long-awaited sacrifice phase is now live. You can make a political statement. Verification purposes, the screenshot is here. OXCF ends in 96B. which I think happens to be the same, 96B OXCF. Yep. And so there it is there. I'm going to post this in the chat there if you want to participate. Obviously, make sure you do your investment due diligence. Nothing on this YouTube channel is investment advice, just our opinions on this one. So cool. Now, this is different. This definitely has got its own market use case there. And of course, the market will decide about that. Obviously, no expectations with the points there. Magic product's going to magically appear at the end. Now you've got a MCR bonus on here. Additional points may be recorded against addresses that choose to add a 0.369 to the amount of tokens sacrificed. So MC Magic Carpet Ride bonus. Now, do we know what that bonus is?
Go into the Magic Carpet Ride Telegram to find out that percentage.
Okay.
It's our way of saying thank you to the Magic Carpet Ride guys. We all use the Magic Carpet Ride pools for the liquid loans and Pulsechain sacrifices.
Okay.
We think they're great guys. The service that they provided the community was a lot of hard work that went into it. So it's our way of saying thank you to them.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So check that out. Magic Carpet Ride's in the chat there. You can let us know in the chat if you want. All right, cool. So let us
look at Wall to Wall TV. Dude gonna buy a decent crib with 1.6 mil AUD. That's hilarious. Shows a lot of naivete regarding these sacrifice phases, but I won't say any more on that.
It's humorous. $174,351. $1 million is the cap, so you have to be in before that. And of course, it's only been open for 30 hours. So far, $5,800 on average per hour has been going in there. So once it's pretty good, doing pretty good straight out of the gate. If we compare that to some of the other ones here, we've got Beetroot, Pulse Data, Hex Pulse Cards. They're all relatively new, and they're down at 48 here and have been around a bit longer. So I think you're starting out of the gate. They're pretty good. 3,939 there for the Pulse Data one, which I actually like the Pulse Data, to be honest. But it is a niche offering. And of course, Hex postcards there. I think they just recycled that into postcards. Yeah, and Pulse Unity is launching soon. Oh yeah, they've launched 54. So we've got Pulse Unity in our Discord. They are developing a social interaction platform, I think, for Pulsechain community. So we're going to probably talk more about that another time. Got UpToken and Texan Token, which you guys are looking at adding in. They're actually doing pretty well. 676,000 on that one. So pretty nice. All right, so cool. Let's get back up to here, 174,000. So if you want to check it out, folks, I posted the win.finance in there. We'll post these links in the video description afterwards. And of course, you can get access to it in our Discord, which has pretty much everything in here. And of course, new token links, you can just go up to WinWin in our list. It's actually in our profile list. It's been there for a while, actually, I think. WinWin there, so you can get access to that there with all the links. And of course, if you want to go to Hex Pulse Hot List, they have got a base review there. And of course, maybe it's a starting point. They haven't got a lot of info there, to be honest. But they've got the video, which is, I guess, a good starter. And they've got a little write-up there as well. So verified no. I guess that's probably where you're getting hit the most on that. It will be on that points. So actually you got a pretty good ranking despite that. 78 rockets there, 14 fires.
If anyone has any questions about us, come and ask us in Telegram. Ask about us in the community. Jump in the spaces. We're in there all the time. If we're not in there, ask the other people what they think of us. I hope that all the time that I've spent chatting to people, that they get a good sense of who we are and what we're about.
All right, so we'll just ask. Just got a couple of minutes left. We'll just answer a few questions in here in the chat. Let's go through some of these. Pass says, can you explain how your marketing will work? How are you reaching out to different projects on Pulse?
So we don't need permission to bring any of those other assets into our ecosystem because they're all true DeFi. They're immutable, no admin keys, non-custodial. So we can just literally point our code to those staking mechanisms, and in a way, there's nothing they can do about it. But that's not how we roll. We have spoken. So I was involved with the Liquid Loans team in the lead up to their SAC, and then for a little bit afterwards. And then obviously when I decided to do this, it's been eating up all my time, so I had to step away from Liquid Loans. But yeah, we're huge fans of Liquid Loans. We big massive fans of Internet Money Wallet Dividend and KG and Don.
Yeah,
Who else?
I think they're all the top. I think they're all in the top 6 products.
Yeah,
that it's over coming on the Pulsechain.
So we've been liaising with every one of those projects that we're looking to bring in to our ecosystem. And then as far as marketing, what I love is the fact that we're constantly going to have things to talk about. So we'll be able to make posts, hopefully once we've expanded enough, a couple of times a week, saying, look, this person staked $20 worth of loan token and won $50,000, and this person staked $100 worth of mint and won $15. Like there's going to be prizes constantly to talk about.
Yeah, I think it's going. Yeah, I agree with you. I think you guys have probably got the biggest what do you call it, torch out there. If you think about it, it's going to be pretty big. People are going to get attracted to that pretty quickly. Cool. Jeff Friedman says, if everyone gets the 0.369 bonus, then how is it a bonus?
That's an extremely good point. Not everyone knows about Magic Carpet Ride. Not everyone pays as much attention as you do, Jeff. So if you go through DBank and you look at all the addresses that have sacrificed thus far, you will see that not everyone is putting the 369 there.
Yeah, unfortunately for them. We got JBag says there is a dialogue between protocols. We have recently been liaising with Hex Token to discuss the fundamentals with them. Same is true with other protocols. Nice one, JBags. That's pretty cool. JBag's in your team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rapid Innovation says Magic Cup Pride. Let's just jump through some of these quickly. We'll probably wrap up in 3 minutes. You got 3 more minutes?
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay. WinWin, another airdrop for Pulse Sacrifice. It says Matt.
So that's a great question. If we do airdrops, say tied in with Internet Money, so let's say you download the Internet Money wallet, and all of a sudden, bang, you've got a Win token. It would have to be a very, very, very small amount, because let's say you participated in a community raffle, and there were 100 tickets, and you bought 10 tickets for $1 each, and then you found out the winner got their tickets for free. Well, you'd be pretty frustrated by that. So we don't want people who haven't, contributed to the ecosystem getting their hands on too many Win token for free and then winning prizes, because it's just not really fair. But as an onboarding tool, we definitely do want, we see the benefit of doing it. So yeah, the answer is if we do airdrops, there'll be a minute number of tokens.
SKB says Hex token pump enhance. That's funny. JBag says every other token that is listed on our protocol pump enhance. Yeah, that's true. What else it got there? Just jump through a couple more of these. Just looking at the clock there. And Magic Carpet says it's our way of saying thank you for the community for the 369. Love Easter eggs. Yeah, we love those for sure. Let me have a look here. Just trying to look for questions. JBags says when Hex token and WinWin Telegram chat. Unfortunately, JBags, I'm not on Telegram. I used to be, but I just lost my connection, and I'll try and get back on there one day soon. But I am on Discord, and of course you can join our Discord in the link in the video description. All right, cool. Let us jump back to the site there, and what else we got there? Is WinWin just for the Pulsechain? Says Scott Jackson.
So our focus is Pulsechain. There's no reason we couldn't expand to other chains in the future.
I could see, yeah, and there's a couple projects that have been really good for that. We talked about, was it PulsePot? PulsePot?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so they're doing multi-chain, and I think that they've got kind of the right product, and your product kind of fits. It's associated to that kind of thing. They're innovating in that space. You're innovating with the big prizes, so I think probably something for your team to consider. And Christian Collins says this will be my first sacrifice that I'll be participating if I choose to. So to participate, I can send ETH to the address provided. That's correct, Christian.
Correct.
And put the 369 on the decimal places, right?
Yeah. So it's a bit tricky because it's an expensive token. So if you wanted to do 0.1 ETH, then you might go 0.1369, and that will likely be recognized, rather than 0.369 ETH if you don't want to splash that much cash.
Yeah. That's a good point, Christian. So I hope you picked that up, Christian, a regular Hex token channel member there. Is WinWin just for Pulsechain? I think we talked about that one. Sorry about that. WinWin for the MCR communities. You jump through any of this. Maximus tokens to be in WinWin's is SKB?
Maximus doesn't have a native staking function. Oh, I mean, they've got Team. We'll have to look into it.
Yeah, Team, and of course they got the diamond hands for the ownership tokens. Smash the bell, hit the likes to receive notifications of all this stuff for free, says Matt. Absolutely. What Telegram for WinWin? Well, you can actually get that on the website. Posted that. I might as well post it at the end of this chat here. I think that'll be the last question. Any final words from yourself there on behalf of your team?
We are very active. You can ask us any question anytime on Telegram or Twitter. Please come and hit us up, grill us, any questions you want. You know where to find us.
Fabulous. Yeah, I was going to just say, if you are going to just do your investment due diligence, if you are going to sacrifice, then of course you can find all the details on this website, and then ask them any questions on a Telegram there, or obviously Twitter as well. And don't forget to add your 0.369 to your token of choice there. So pretty cool. Hey, thanks for taking the time to let us know all about this. Definitely is one of the more exciting projects out there in the Pulsechain. And it was a pleasure having you on, man.
Thank you very much, Superman. I really appreciate it.
That's you're welcome. All right. Hope everybody enjoyed that. And of course, if you want to, I'll be in Discord and after this live stream, so you can chat in there. Big shout out to Magic Carpet Ride team, to J Bags. I think there's any other team members of yours in there. J Bags, I think that's it. Yeah,
Merchant Captain Planet might be in there, but not sure.
Yeah, War Dogs in there. Will 0.369 work on Hex? It would.
Yep.
It's got 8 decimal places on the War Dog on that. But yeah, cool. All right, let's wrap things up. Let's party on, everybody. Yeah, I really do like the big prize approach to this, and the way that you guys have done the allocations. I think it's very smart. So all the best to you with the sacrifice. Look forward to that big million, and yeah, get out there and enjoy it. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Thank you, Superman.
All right, take care. Bye for now.
Legend. All right, talk to you later.
Cheers.
Bye.
All right, hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will catch you tomorrow. As you guys know, first live stream tomorrow, we'll be talking about stock market, crypto market, and of course getting into everything else that's going on. So stay tuned for that. I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. I do think it's kind of a pretty special looking project there, and yeah, check it out. Do your investment due diligence, of course, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye for now, and we're going to play out some funky music. As you know, Pulsechain is coming, and this could be just one of the big projects on there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Cheers.